All right. So you step through the portal, and Viernan instantly looks greener than usual and hurriedly excuses himself for a second.
Poor guy.
Poor boy rolled a 6 on his constitution check.
No.
He never can take his portals well.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that. I'm better. I'm good.
Oh, good.
Where are we? Where did we step through to?
Well, that's a good question. Specifically, who pulled up the portal? Because if it was Chaz or Viernan, they might have specified somewhere in Neverwinter. Otherwise, you left it up to Belle, which is curious on your part.
I mean, it was 500,000 years ago. I don't remember who opened it.
This is me giving Kay a chance to decide if you want to, or otherwise I can say you just, appeared in an alley or something.
As we just agreed Neverwinter. Has Chaz ever been to Neverwinter? Would he, plan to go somewhere he knows about?
That's a good question. So maybe Viernan did it. Because at least he's engaged to a map maker, so...
That's a good point, yeah, because Jazz has never been to Neverwinter, so he would have been okay, I guess I can plug in those coordinates.
In that case, then V plugged in coordinates for an alley. There should be a couple taverns nearby. You could probably go somewhere and get, a private room to talk in.
Perfect.
Okay, sounds good. Neverwinter's a great city. Big fan of it.
I have no ideas for tavern names, so if you come up with something clever, cool.
The Driftwood Tavern.
There we go.
It's also a museum located in the Black Lake district of Neverwinter.
What's it a museum for?
It does not specify.
Who cares?
Curios and relics of Neverwinter before its fall. It fell, apparently. Okay.
Huh. Okay, so it's like the one, the Roadhouse in Onward. Cool. So B is still pretty green. If nobody else is going to do it, Belle will go up to the counter and see about getting you a private room to talk in.
Sir, he'll watch from a safe distance just in case he decides he wants to murder the tavern keeper. You know, you don't want to put it past him.
Okay. Well, he is perfectly charming. Doesn't seem interested in killing the tavern keeper, because then how would you get a room? Come on. Practicalities.
Obviously.
Yes, he managed to secure you a private dining room in the tavern, and you are able to order some drinks or something. I don't know if that makes that more or less awkward, waiting for your drink order.
I mean, we'll talk once we order that.
What are the options?
I don't know. What do you want to order?
It's a tavern.
You're a big boy now.
I'm looking over, I'm do you have ale?
What? Excuse me, young lad. Are you allowed to drink?
Oh, hush.
I am what? We're in the future, right? I'm definitely old enough now.
That's how time works.
That's how time travel works. It's true.
I'm old enough to drink because in the future me is probably dead. So I would like an ale. I put down a coin. I don't know. I probably overpay. It's probably an excessive amount.
Chaz just laughs at you.
I've only ever had whenever you're in college and you have a jug of tequila that somebody gave you that a senior bought for you.
Ugh.
I don't know how to pay for shit. So I put down 2 gold coins.
Sarathiel amends. He'll take a half pint. Just to a half pint if you don't mind, please. Thank you.
Is that a lot?
And I'll have a glass of wine. Thank you.
You definitely overpaid. Chaz switches out your coin. He's that's too much. You need this much.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Chaz.
All right, so y'all get settled. How are we starting this?
Oh, I know, right?
So, Sarathiel has been, thinking about it, in general. He's been thinking about Belantiel, a lot.
I mean, I figure since you haven't been sleeping.
But specifically, what he wants to say, it hadn't even occurred to him that the whole, hey, stop killing people, let's talk instead. He did not anticipate that strategy would work.
Right.
Nice.
So when he finally, gets to the point where I should say something now, he just sort of stares at Belantiel in, this sort of dazed, stunned expression on his face.
He looks back at you over his mug, apparently evil drinks cider, and says quietly, "You wanted to talk?"
Yes, that's what I wanted. I just, I don't know, I feel a bit like the cat that caught the canary and now isn't sure what to do with it.
A smirk plays across his face oh yeah, no, I have no idea what you're talking about there. That's never happened to me.
He says, Belantiel, I don't know if this shocks you, but I want you in my life, permanently. if it can be arranged, but there are some pretty big stipulations to that. Like, we've got to stop killing a lot of people.
Chaz's eyebrows definitely go up at, like, the I want you in my life permanently thing, like, really?
Yeah, I mean, V gets it. He is part of a twin soul. Like, he gets it. He's probably the only one of you who does.
Right.
But he's also alarmed by the notion of wanting evil enemy.
It's fine. Zarathiel can fix him. He can fix him, guys.
Of course. It's fine.
Sure he can.
Look, he's a murderer. But like a mass murderer. Not even like a one-off murderer.
That is true, yeah. But here's the thing. The power of love. Have you considered that? Have you considered the power of love?
No. Because no offense, Zarathiel, that's stupid.
Puts a hand over Gwyned's face.
I mean, that's very effective. Gwyned shuts up.
Obviously, I want you in mine too, but, I would also have stipulations.
Well, it's good that we have a good starting point. I cannot abide all of the killing. That should stop. And ideally, we could cooperate to figure out exactly what's going on, what's causing all these rifts, screwing up the timeline. I would like to work with you and help you.
I mean, that one's easier, but the not killing, you really expect that to happen?
I would hope that it would, yes. I would like for you to not do that anymore, thank you. Also, no torture, I feel like, just in case that wasn't clear. No torture, just generally not less evil behavior.
He leans toward you. Tell me, can you truthfully say you don't want them to suffer?
Yes.
The ones who kidnapped you?
Yes.
Brainwashed you?
Yes.
Abused you?
Yes.
And stole your magic?
Yeah, yes, I can.
You don't want them to pay for what they did?
No, I don't. What is the point of adding more suffering into the world, Belantiel? It's just going to continue the cycle. It has to stop somewhere. I want it to stop with me.
Fine, no unwarranted killing. But there's definitely...
It's unwarranted?
Oh, well, I'd rather not split hairs about what is and isn't warranted. Like, immediate self-defense? Sure. But apart from that...
So then why are you mad at me about that warlock? He tried to kill you.
Yes.
You're my twin soul, and I'm supposed to consider that his life is more precious than yours?
His life isn't more precious. That's not... You shouldn't have to measure which lives are more valuable than... What? I don't know how to explain to you that you need basic human empathy.
I give Zarathiel, a look. A very pointed look.
What's the look supposed to say?
The look is supposed to say, see what I said about the power of love being stupid?
He once again puts his hand over Gwyned's face.
I didn't even say anything!
This whole time, Chaz has just been staring at Zarathiel and then just back and forth. This feels like a conversation that maybe we don't need to be here for.
No, please don't go, he says. A little bit frantic. Please stay.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere, Viernan says.
He says, Belantiel, you are my twin soul. I will move heaven and earth to be with you, but there are some things that I cannot compromise on.
Fine, we'll stick a pin in that, because I have opinions on that, and clearly you do too. What else did you want to talk about?
Oh boy, alright. Stick a pin in murder, okay.
Clearly you're not going anywhere with that, but we do have other questions. Chaz, looks at Zarathiel. Have your lover spat later.
Fine. It seems like a pretty big pin. The kind of pin that holds a grenade. But fine, we'll just put that to the side. You're working with Libellus Anoreth?
Not precisely.
Oh dear. You're going to be one of those. I love this conversation already.
Whatever detail you can share, Belantiel. We're a little bit desperate.
He's not Libellus Anoreth anymore.
What in the whole fuck does that mean?
He calls himself Kol Labellas. And anybody who speaks Elvish, you would know what that means. Tessa, you need to roll for me.
Yeah, because technically he never learned Elvish, huh?
Right.
Although he did start those lessons, didn't he, with Gwen?
We've been working on him, but we probably haven't gotten to, niche shit yet.
Shouldn't I have to roll too? Didn't we establish that I speak some weird dialect? And he's like, shit, I don't know that.
You would know what the thing means.
What chance in the Underdark would I have had to speak, upstairs Elvish?
12, okay.
So the Elvish prefix kol means not. So literally he is not Labellus.
Okay, great. That doesn't answer anything.
Not Labellus, just any other person in the entire multiverse, then. That's narrowed it down nice.
He seems to be... I mean, he's still a lord of the continuum, but now something is dark about him, which I personally love, but...
We gotta talk about that later. Let's put it to the side. Stick a pin in it. Did he die and reincarnate, or...?
Honestly, I don't know. I didn't ask, and he didn't really seem like talking about it, but he offered me enough power to meet my goals.
So he's your patron?
Yeah, basically.
Okay. What goals did you do? This wasn't really just to travel in time and get me a bad sword, right? Like, hopefully there was more to it than that.
Obviously, revenge, murder, sex, he likes all those things, apparently, Sarathiel. You have great taste.
You're not helping, Chasmere.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Chaz is gestures see.
His goals are aligned with mine. We both want to destroy ApTap for what they've done to you. I mean, he wants to destroy them because of all the meddling that they do in time, but...
Why does he care about that?
Well, I mean, if he is the god of the continuum...
Thank you for not making me talk to a child so derivatively.
I turn, and I look at Sarathiel again with just, one eyebrow raised, and I point at Belantiel, really?
It's I know, just...
Yeah, also, speaking of the timelines, what was the point of throwing us all... I mean, V said something that he saw the end of Silvery Moon. You tried to distract me with a hot guy, which is very rude to assume that would work, by the way.
It worked. It did work, for the record.
I mean, it did work in the tavern.
It did not work that much. I still made bracers that work. Come on, you guys.
Agree to disagree.
He gives you a look and then gestures at Belle this is what you're attracted to. I don't want to hear it from you.
All right, so to be specific, you've only asked him about the Silvery Moon portals. You haven't asked him about...
What was the point of doing that?
You want to separate us for something? What are you doing?
Oh, well, the first time I hadn't meant for you to follow me, but I will admit the second was a little bit of my tampering.
To what end? Just to get me alone?
I should think that one was obvious.
There are easier ways to accomplish that. You could just send a letter.
Tried that, and if I had done that before I had found you, would you have understood the letter?
I did have trouble reading before the mark started to break, now that you mention it. But, that's...
Viernan breaks in. That is not the point.
He says, look, generally speaking, I agree that ApTap probably needs, if not serious reform, then to be dissolved altogether. But do we have to do it with violence? Do we have to do it by killing a lot of people? We could just, gently persuade them to stop.
They managed to change a god's alignment. Do you really think that will be enough to stop them?
I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't know, but what I do know is that it is important to exhaust every peaceful option.
Boring.
Have you tried anything other than murder? Or was that just the first thing that we jumped to?
That's a good point. Did we try other steps? Did we try talking to people first? Or did we just jump straight into the murder?
Do you think I have not tried everything I can think of to get you out of there? Do you know how much it took to remember you, to remember who we were? You were stolen from our timeline.
I was pretty bad. In fairness, I killed lots of people.
I mean, you had loftier goals once upon a time.
Bad ones. Bad goals.
I think you're a little confused, Belantiel. You seem to think that Sarathiel is the one from your memories, which none of us know. He's not like that.
I'm not the God Eater. I can't be the God Eater, Belantiel. That is... Maybe there's some part of me that could be reawakened, but I don't want that part of me to be reawakened. I don't want to become the God Eater. I don't. I can't. I can't let myself go down that path.
I put my hand on Sarathiel's shoulder and I'm like, and we won't let you. We got your back. I give Belle a very, very stinky stink eye.
Oh, he does not care.
I know, but I'm gonna do it anyway. This is about as brave as we get whenever we're a squishy wizard.
You've acknowledged that our destinies are intertwined, Sarathiel. Why are you resisting what you could be? What we could be together?
Because it's wrong to kill people. I don't know how to explain this to you in a way that you can understand. Mass murder is bad? How do I can't get more fundamental than that.
Maybe this whole twin soul thing doesn't work over timelines, because seriously, doesn't seem like either of you are on the same page.
Out of character. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, he does the air quotes with twin soul, like, as though, like, whatever you call that thing. I don't know, true love sounds fake.
It's true. You are, in essence, an echo of him.
What's an echo? What does that mean?
And if anybody wants to make a Arcana check, you can try to know what he means by echo.
Neat. I'm gonna do it.
Absolutely, I'm gonna do that.
Motherfucking yes!
How?
You did the homework.
Gwen, you apparently got into some, like, real esoteric draconic lore at some point.
Honestly, that sounds right.
And actually, I need to get out Fizbins to get the definition, because I wasn't expecting anyone to actually get that.
I love this.
I also meant to ask you, I know what colabellus means, like, not libellus, but is there any kind of, like, I don't know, cultural significance to that, where it's, like a denunciation of self? Like, you know what I mean? That could be, like, a thing where it's, like, a formal...
For Libellus himself, I don't know. It's meant to imply that he is the opposite of what he was.
Okay, so it's more than just not, it's, like...
It's more that he is pursuing it whatever the cost, whereas before he was at least nominally a good deity, so he actually would consider things like deaths and stuff.
Straight up murder.
Okay, so it's basically like a denunciation of what you used to be and almost like a complete swerve.
Basically, like, if y'all are gonna fuck the world up enough to make me go through this change, fuck all of this. Fuck all of your rules.
Yeah, I was like, AppTap did a boo-boo.
AppTap did a big boo-boo.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
A echo, it's something that usually is unique to dragons. So dragons have this unique connection to the magic in the material plane, and they have this link to dragons across the other worlds of the plane. And theoretically, every dragon has a echo on every world in the plane. And the way that he's saying it makes you think that this might be across timelines as well. So it's possible there are other Bells out there. It's possible there's other Chazes out there, which, I mean, you already know because you stepped into a different timeline. Some of the echoes are similar to each other. Others are more radically different. Depending on the dragon themselves, they might be obsessed with finding an echo or not.
Okay, so essentially it's like your alternate timeline universe you. Okay.
Basically.
Chaz is just like, question mark, turns to the nerd. Explain.
I kind of like whisper under my breath. He's talking about alternate selves across timelines.
Out of character, Chaz, have you mentioned your interaction with Algadon to the group? I mean, Gwen and Viernan did find you, and they didn't really look into where you were.
I remember I did say something about, like, hey, we blew up AppTap, and y'all were like, what?
Right, good. Thank you for the reminder.
This hot guy told me that, and then we kissed, and then we left.
I always believe hot guys when they tell me things. So.
And that's exactly Chaz. He's like, uh-huh. I guess then Chaz will follow up that with, why specifically those timelines?
Well, as I said, the battle, I hadn't expected you to follow me there. Before I'd even heard rumors of an artifact there, I'd wanted to see that battle. Coming up with strategies like that on the fly, the commanders were cleverer than most. It's a waste that so many of them died that day.
I look at Sarathiel and I'm like, what? Is he saying what?
Yeah, it's very convenient, Belantiel, that it's only a shame people die when they're useful to you in some way. Did you think it's a little, like, some cognitive dissonance that you gotta work on? Nothing striking you as out of place?
Some deaths are meant to happen, some aren't.
Sure, but you don't get to decide that.
Yeah, who makes that decision?
I told you I'm working with the Lord of the Continuum, right? Like, I have a little bit of a guide here.
Apparently the evil one. The bad version, though.
Sorry to interrupt this fascinating conversation, but this is killing me. Haven't I seen you somewhere, Belantiel?
What was your name again? I'm afraid I was rather distracted in that tavern. What were you doing? You were flirting or were you interrogating me?
Chaz immediately remembers and, looks like he's gonna throw up, and he's like, oh, gods, Argent, oh, fuck.
What a callback. Rip.
Oh, that's okay. I regret asking. He looks at Sarathiel like, I'm so sorry, both for your taste and for flirterrogating that.
Sarathiel says, please stop talking. Chasmia.
You flirted? What? This has been a bad day.
That's one way of putting it.
Sarathiel says, this is mostly unrelated. Are you actually an elf? I've gotten the impression that you're not an elf, that you are actually a dragon?
Some of those memories must be coming back, finally.
What the fuck?
What kind of dragon? What kind of dragon are you?
I mean, I'll give you that because you haven't had your memories and your intellect for a while, but I'm a little disappointed that the others haven't figured it out yet. This is a chance for you guys to roll.
Okay.
And I told Kay where to look in the notes for this.
Exactly.
Now, offhand, you guys probably won't be able to guess, but your characters might, based on the context clues.
I mean, he's got to be a chromatic dragon, right? He's evil.
Yeah, he's definitely evil.
Mm-hmm.
Chromatics aren't the only evil dragons.
Right.
But they do make up the vast majority of evil dragons, in fairness. I was thinking blue based on his aesthetic, but, I don't know.
What's a book that I was very excited about?
Yes, I know, but I don't have this band yet. Leave me alone.
So, clues that you have found. You found spider webs in tunnels that previously were not there, like giant spider webs.
Great.
He's laid out a couple clues here in his nerding out about battles and strategy. And he has laid out a couple other hints that are not really intentional, because dragons have layer effects that happen wherever they establish a layer. There might have been a certain type of gemstone that you found.
A gem dragon? Sapphire?
Y'all can roll an Arcana check, and Gwen, I'm giving you advantage on it.
Okay.
Are sapphire dragons a thing?
I mean, remember, Baku was well, those are normally neutral, though, I think.
Yes, but neutral doesn't have to be true neutral.
Oh my god. Militaristic and warlike, they love to discuss. It's
Oh
just totally
god,
a sapphire
okay.
dragon. They prefer to lair in deep rocky caves and often keep large spiders in their home as a food source!
How is our first natural 20 of the night, the drow, figuring this out? Now we have to figure out how to, justify that moment of, uh-huh?
Right, because Chaz is like, ew, spiders, trauma.
Well, probably he was reminding you of being in the tavern. You had it on your mind, and so you started to think back of, okay, what were some of the things that I repressed around there? That was the first time we met him.
Right.
And then you think of spiders, and you realize that
The sapphires inlaid in the dagger, ah!
Belle makes some quip about you not figuring it out, and you have an existential crisis, and remember all the shit that you've repressed.
Yeah, Chaz is like, I hate not knowing things, yeah.
So one of the main things is sapphire dragons and drow fight a lot because the spiders are sacred to the drow, and they're very, very super tasty.
Oh my god, okay.
Now, you probably don't care about that in particular because bleh,
Yeah.
anything to do with all that.
Put it in a little box and never think about it. That's how I deal with all my problems. Yay.
Very healthy.
Yeah.
I will let you spill the beans, or he might.
Yeah, Chaz is muttering to himself. He's like, spiders and oh my god.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Have we figured it out?
Chaz, what? Chaz, what?
Nah, it was the spiders, the connection.
I thought it would be.
Of course. Oh, of course. A sapphire dragon. Of course you would be.
Guys, I just realized that Belantiel is Spider's Georg.
Oh my god. Why would you?
He eats 10,000 spiders a day. He's an outlier and should not be counted.
Now, technically, they're its favorite food, not the food it solely eats.
Right.
Don't take this away from me.
I will also remind you of what he wears. He's wearing this crazy cloak and, blue-scaled dragon scale mail.
It does have sapphire vibes, I will give it that.
Sure do.
Dorathiel, piecing all this together, he says, so, am I a dragon? I don't feel like a dragon. I feel like if I were a dragon, I would have figured it out by now.
No, you're not. You're half dragon, but you're not.
Half dragon, right. Which I guess...
You don't remember it, do you? When did you trance last? You look exhausted.
I'm good. Dodge question.
I thought that one was supposed to be taking care of you, based on what the files said.
Listen, it's been a rough couple of weeks.
I've been trying, but he won't take the potions, even the dreamless sleep ones.
So you haven't been sleeping or trancing at all?
Listen, I've had... It's been traumatic, okay?
Fine, we'll deal with that later, but what do you remember?
Of the God Eater? Not a lot. Nothing, I don't think. I was taken out of that timeline when I was still an infant. I have nothing to hold on to.
You haven't had any dreams? I mean, echoes sometimes do. There's a connection.
There was a hoard, I think is what it was. Glittering and golden, encrusted with rubies. I didn't stay very long. It made me feel...
Gross?
Uneasy.
Yeah. You're better off away from there. It's true.
But
Your father was a red dragon. What do you want me to say? He had a horde of beautiful men and women.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's no less disgusting than what your mother did.
I'm sorry, we're drawing the line here. It's murder is fine, rape is bad. That's what okay, never mind.
You asked for some morals. You didn't specify.
At least there's one.
Yeah, he's like, I'll give you one more.
This is a point in the column for Belle. There's one moral.
Chaz still looks like he wants to throw up, great. I'm so happy for you.
I have a question. Sapphire dragons are known for being evil, right? Would we all know that?
Gem dragons are mostly neutral, but there's an exception to every rule.
You can have a good drow, for example.
Exactly, you can.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna make a character decision. I turn to Sarathiel and I kind of son of voce, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that aren't the dragons evil? Should we really be talking to someone who's just inherently evil?
He's not inherently evil. I have to believe that he's not inherently evil. He's the other half of my soul, Gwen. If there's no hope for him, then what hope is there for me?
Chaz also takes offense at that choice of words. He turns to Gwen and he's like, inherently, evil is a choice, Gwynedd. It's not something that is engraved in your soul.
I mean, for you two, yes, but he... And I just sort of look over my shoulder at him.
Belantiel's just sitting back, sipping a cider, just watching the dynamics here.
He just keeps murdering people and doesn't seem to think that it's wrong. He doesn't even seem to consider that it could be wrong. And now we find out that he's a dragon? I don't...
To be fair, he interjects, he has only been killing people that have done bad things so far. That have been involved with this horrible thing that managed to change a god's alignment. I am not just going out and killing civilians.
Yeah, that makes it better.
That's not better. I think I'm not talking to him just because, he's one, very scary, and two, also, I'm kind of mad that he won't talk to me. So I'm looking at Sarathiel and I'm like, Sarathiel, you know, maybe not inherently what is right and wrong, but you want to try. He doesn't even want to try. He just wants to make excuses to kill people.
Again, my only goal is to get him back. I don't care about any of the rest of it.
Belantiel, shut up! Not about you, he turns back to Gwen. I have to believe that it's possible for him to change, Gwen. If I can't, then what the hell am I doing here?
Oof, that stabs me in the backstory real bad. Chaz just immediately
I'm looking Sarathiel dead in the eyes and be like, you're not him, Sarathiel.
I'm close enough to him that it makes a substantial difference.
No, you're not him. I just don't want you to lose that.
He's my twin soul.
I will support you. I always have. I always will. But don't confuse his fate with yours.
I have to try.
So, just as a question, if I do try to become good, what's your goal?
I don't know. Raise chickens on a farm somewhere?
No, I'm not talking like the end goal, but like what is the purpose of me being good? How am I supposed to help you if I'm good?
We could join forces against this god who's trying to destroy everything, and also probably against AppTap, it's looking like.
Oh yeah, definitely against AppTap.
Probably both at the same time. But we could work together. We could stabilize the multiverse and the threads of time, and then go to a aforementioned farm and raise chickens or something. I don't know, I hadn't thought that far ahead, to be honest.
That sounds boring as hell, but...
Even with your twin soul?
Maybe not a farmhold, maybe like a tower? I could see a tower.
He probably eats chickens. I say, staring at him.
You don't eat chicken? Are you vegetarian?
I actually feel like that's on brand, so yes.
Chaz is like, actually they eat spiders, but whatever.
They taste like chicken.
Maybe a tower on the edge of the sea somewhere, where together we can unlock all the mysteries of the arcane. Just a nice, peaceful, quiet life. That's all that I really want. Doesn't that sound good? Doesn't that sound like something you could want? Please say it is.
I'm Sapphire Dragon. You know that... Well, I guess maybe you don't know, but...
I don't know anything about dragons.
We don't...
I barely know that I'm half dragon.
We're solitary. We're not meant for... some dragons will get together in giant groups, others seek each other out. We're not meant for that. Solitary life sounds wonderful. But a farm?
Okay, forget the farm. It was just a first guess. It was just the first thing that popped into my head. A tower tower by the sea also sounds great.
And honestly, if you're so afraid about murder, you should look closer to home. Your administrant's hands are hardly clean.
I do intend to deal with her. Peacefully if possible. Peacefully, Belantiel.
You think she'll let you? Tieflings don't live that long without making some kind of deal.
The point is that you have to try. You have to at least try to resolve it peacefully before you go on with the errant murder.
If anybody wants to figure out or to verify what Belle said about the fact that tieflings don't live that long, you're welcome to. That's pretty common knowledge, but it's like, oh, wait,
yeah. And the thing is, Tessa, know exactly what happened, but Sarathiel has no fucking clue. He's a pure, innocent boy, and he has nothing to do with this.
I don't really know anything about tiefling. I guess I could roll to see if maybe it was something I read about one time.
Chances are good that you have read about it, actually. Another nat 20.
So tieflings mature at the same rate as humans, but they live a little bit longer. With the exception of you, you're all elves at this table, Belle isn't either, but he's also a very long-lived being.
What's the average lifespan of a tiefling?
It says, a few tieflings live as long as 150 years.
Average lifespan, 90 to 150.
We're basically making the assumption that because she's older than that she must have made a deal with somebody, right?
Or something, or done something terrible.
Gotcha.
There are okay ways to extend your life. There are ethical ways to do it, but
I was gonna say, what if it was a normal...
like a pact with a long-lived deity or something?
I'm gonna look up, and I'm not talking to Belle, but I'm gonna look at Sarathiel, and I'm gonna be like, we don't know for sure that was because of something bad that she did. Maybe, I've read of ways to, extend your life that are just totally normal.
I'm pretty sure it is bad.
Not normal.
Out of character, Sarathiel's read his own file at this point, part of it, so he knows at least some of the shit that she's done. He's always had a bad feeling about her.
Well, I know he has, but I don't, so...
Oh yeah, you're your teacher's pet, so...
Yeah.
Actually, he says, so I wasn't really going to get into this too much, but, Oriana had, she tried to murder me when I was an infant.
Several times.
A couple times. A couple times, yeah.
What?
She tried to kill me when I was a young adult, and then when that didn't work, she tried to kill me when I was a younger adult, and then when that didn't work, she tried to kill me as a child, and then...
And Vierden jumps in and mentions, tried to kill the God Eater, not Sarathiel.
Still an infant? That makes a lot of sense.
Well,
I understand now why my future ex-husband said we blew up AppTap.
And then, long story short, we ended up, the ethics committee stepped in and forcibly stopped her, and that was why I was raised at AppTap instead of being murdered as an infant.
Belle just chimes up when you said future ex-husband. He's like, oh yeah, I was trying to recruit him. I thought he might be useful. He turned me down.
What?
He turned me down.
What?
He also had a problem with the killing.
You were trying to recruit. What do you need a druid for? Also, he's hot in mine.
It was less the druid and more the had experience blowing up Aptop.
Oh, that's true. Anyway, ew. Get your own gardener, ew!
I mean, that's why it was open.
Oh.
I kind of like put my hands down and I look across the table at everybody and I'm like, look, we can sit here all night and talk about ethics.
Oh, please don't make us.
But at the end of the day, we need to stop AppTap. And I look at like my team and I'm like, we already said that we are here to put an end to the unethical things they've been doing. How is he, and I like glare at Belle, going to help us do that? Because if he's not going to help, he should just leave.
Let's see, I'm a master tactician, or at least I've studied a lot of battles. I'm a dragon. I have a fleet of warlocks at my back.
You. I just make like those hands where you're like someone's talking and you're like they're talking too much.
All right. Sit down.
How on earth did she produce such a twerp?
Excuse you?
All right, let's keep the mother slander to a minimum.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
You're a twerp.
What did you just say about my mother?
How did someone so smart and wonderful and a great tactician produce a twerp?
All right, Belantiel, that's enough.
Was that clear enough?
Stop it!
I like stand up to my 5'6" height.
I would save her if I could. Do you think I wouldn't?
So you know her. Or you knew her. That's some version of her.
I know of her. I've studied the battles extensively.
Of course, you love battles.
Obviously. We've established that.
What do you have to do with my mother?
I told you, I wanted to see the battle. It was her penultimate battle. Well, not really penultimate, it was really ultimate, but...
So you have a historical interest?
Again, Sapphire Dragon, we've established I'm interested in battles. She was a very good general. What are you...
She was, but you can keep your name out of your mouth. I mean, you haven't said it, but that's not the point. I sit down heavily. Like, I don't know why I'm mad, but I am.
Yeah, I don't either, because, like, he literally said he'd save her if he could, which was meant to be a, thing, but we'll come back to that. We'll cycle back to that.
It does sound kind of creepy, though. He's like, I just, watched a couple of people die. It was really interesting.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's weird. It's a weird thing that you just watched my mother die in battles. I don't even care if we can call it a twerp. I am kind of a twerp.
Sarathiel says, all right, Glenn was right about one thing. We can't keep talking ourselves in circles about ethics, so I'll just ask you directly, Belantiel, are you going to help us, or is this the last time I'm going to see you on the same side of this fight? I love you with my whole soul because I do not know how not to love you, but if you force my hand, the blade will come down on you.
Oh, yeah, there's a visceral flinch there. He didn't mean it to happen. He usually has better control than that, but yeah, that triggered a core memory.
Oh my god. What a raw-ass line. Okay.
Exactly.
I want to help you. I want to help you see your potential, get your magic back. If you want to live, boring life by the sea, I want that for you.
Then help me get it. You just gotta stop with the evil. Just dial it back. We can work on it, we could go in increments, we could go in stages, but it has to come down one way or the other.
I will, but I make no guarantees. I can't. You recognize that.
If you can't make a guarantee, then make me a promise. That you will do everything in your power. That you will not betray us, that you will help us as best you are able. That you'll stand with us.
V is just in the background oh, this is not good.
Yeah, no, I don't like this at all. Don't like this.
He's got his twin soul glasses on. I'll believe if you make me a promise, I'll believe you. He's programmed to love him. He can't turn it off.
Sarathiel, is this a good idea? Viernan asks.
Oh, clearly not.
I mean, we'd only have his word that he'd be trustful.
What's the alternative? But leave him to die? Leave him on the opposite side of a battle? If it comes down to that, let it be because he refuses me here. But at least let him answer first.
If all he's offering is to help get rid of that stupid mark, you know that I've been working on that. You know I've been trying to find a way out of it.
To hell with the mark. I can live the rest of my life with this fucking thing ripping my chest apart, and as long as I have... Just answer me, Belantiel! Yes or no?
Yes.
That's a nice, very dramatic ending, but I do want to say Sarathiel gets, like, very puppy dog excited when he hears the yes.
Absolutely, I'm sure he does.
Ears perk up, tail starts wagging, so excited. Like, he'll probably be betrayed or something, but, it's fine.
Still doesn't believe true love is a thing. It sounds fake, and also, it's making you be dumb.
Sarathiel gets, like, he's overcome. He's just completely overwhelmed by hearing the promise, and he lunges forward and he kisses Belantiel.
Oh boy! V makes a strangled noise in the back of his throat.
Just so happy. Just tail wagging.
Bill's not going to argue with this. I mean, he keeps needling everybody else. So you've gotten him to agree to be an ally. Yay!
Yeah, Chaz doesn't believe him for a fucking second. Like, yay, can't wait to be betrayed. So excited.
Yeah, I'm sure this will go great. But very powerful ally, so hey. So there were other things you wanted to accomplish in Neverwinter. Gwen, you wanted to find Karis.
Yes.
The question is, Sarathiel's accepting Belle as a member of the party now.
Oh yeah, Sarathiel is going to immediately try to pack bond with Belantiel.
Oh boy.
Do you want to go get smoothies? Let's talk about our hopes and dreams. Let's go to the top of the Mage's Tower to see the view.
Chaz is like, oh, I feel sick again.
The question is, I guess, Gwen, do you allow Sarathiel and Belle to tag along with you when you decide that you want to go see Karis?
No. I mean, obviously Sarathiel. I'm gonna put up a big fight about Belle.
It's fine. My evil boyfriend is coming with us. It's okay, I have him on a leash. He won't bite you.
That's going to, yeah. So the answer is, I mean, it's not like I can't be convinced, but I'm about to be real mad about it.
I have another idea. The evil boyfriend could be sent off to deal with his warlocks and tell them to stand down.
Great.
If he really, truly means this.
Right. Why don't you put your words into action? Because I don't fucking believe you. Surprise.
Oh, we're gonna have fun. There's a few things I need to get anyway, but sure. If it will make things easier for you, Chasmere, I will get out of your hair. I did get it right. It is Chasmere, right?
Chaz, but sure. I wouldn't want you to call me Chaz anyway. Yes, correct.
Okay, fine. I'll probably forget it tomorrow anyway.
Good.
Sarathiel thinks this is great. They're getting along. This is amazing.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, so it sounds like Belle is gonna fuck off and deal with his warlocks and do some other stuff.
Goodbye. I love you.
I think V follows him out. Like, there's a shovel talk that needs to happen here.
Yeah.
Viernan follows close on Belantiel's heels as he goes to leave. I need a word, he says. Belantiel leans casually against a wall in the alley, as if he'd been expecting the confrontation before Viernan had even conjured up the words. Some handler you are. What, you've been too distracted to notice he hasn't tranced in weeks? Viernan's mouth twists. Not that it's any of your business, but yes, I noticed. I stayed up watching him the night after your reunion, after all, when he could barely handle the pain. Where were you? Belantiel doesn't answer, but he does roll his eyes. I'm not going to just force a potion down his throat, Viernan continues. It's not for me to override his consent. Since when does ApTap give a shit about consent? You stole him from his timeline after trying to murder him. Multiple times, I might add. I'm not them, Viernan says. I never would have condoned any of that, but I wasn't there. All I've been able to do is clean up the aftermath. He huffs a short, aggravated sigh. He's not sure why he's bothering to justify himself to Belantiel of all people. He's a person, Belantiel, not a pet or an object or a trophy. I've fought hard to make them see that. And if you hurt him, you'll what? Lecture me to death? Viernan leans into his space, his voice dangerously quiet. I'll destroy you. turn you over to AppTap, reveal your shortcomings to your followers, crimes to the spell guard. You thought it was hard for your followers to move around the city before this. Just wait. There's a beat of silence, and for a moment, Viernan dares to think he got through. But then, of course, the moment ends when he laughs. Just once, a short, sharp bark. By the gods! Are you actually jealous? How quaint. He leans in, weaponizing quicksilver eyes and pouted lips. We could just share, you know. Wouldn't be the first time. He used to be insatiable. Viernan reels back like he's been bitten, finally managing to retort, the version of him you think you know doesn't exist, and never did, Belantiel. You need to learn that quickly if you intend to keep him. I'm his twin soul, V, he purrs. I don't have to fight for it, and I certainly don't have to pine after him from afar. Anger flares dangerously in the pit of Viernan's stomach, more indicative than any insult Belantiel could throw at him, because he is jealous. It stings to admit, but not as much as it does to feel. Hit a sore spot, did I? Don't hurt him, is all Viernan can manage, before turning and storming away, followed by peals of mocking, contemptuous laughter. Hey everyone, Val here. Thank you for tuning in to the latest episode of Crit Fail Club, Restoration. If you can't wait to hear what happens next, check out our Discord server for episodes in pre-release, or to listen in live as we record. You can join us by going to bit.ly/cfcdiscord. For more information on the show, character biographies, and links to social media, head to our website, critfail.club or critfailclub.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr. We don't advertise at all, so if you like what you hear, tell a friend who might also enjoy the show, post on social media about it, or leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Full episodes are available on our YouTube channel, bit.ly/cfcchannel, or on other major podcast platforms. Thanks again for tuning in.